Okay, so continuing on, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to turn Masons off, and this is typically how the 3D views come automatically. They kind of have Masons turned off. So you can see here, if show mask by view settings is what's being shown, you may open your file and see that. And that's typically what happens where, I could set this like this now, but when you close the program and then reopen the file later on, it defaults back to this. And, obviously if masses are turned off through here, the edit and graphics override tab, that's going to show. But don't panic, it didn't get deleted on you. Just come here and, if you click on that, it shows masses and mass floors. And then if you click again, it will show the mass, the surface types for the energy model. And then this shows zones, the different zones and shadings devices. I'm just going to show the surface types. So again, this is the energy model that's created. And this is why it's important that if you do stuff in SketchUp, that when you import it as a mask. Because even though that when I showed you the solar analysis, you could still do the pick faces. Obviously, you need it to be a mask to able to generate a energy model, for a study. So that's kind of the importance of importing as a mask. Really kind of leans on the energy analysis. So after you run the simulation, which I did, and I'll show you again. So you just click on this, this button, which is, this middle one right here, which is the energy analysis. And then, you can give it a specific name if you want to. I already ran one, and it finished running, and then this button just turns on the energy model, on and off. So you can turn that on or off. Obviously, you can also do it from, here. So it's not really like a big thing on which one you use through that. So this is how you actually see the reports. You click on that and it shows the report. But after you run the energy simulation, when the report is finished, there's actually going to be like a pop-up that pops up right here. It actually happened while I was saving the last video, so I wasn't able to screen grab it, or record it to show you. But it's basically just going to be a little pop-up right here that says, your energy analysis is done, and there'll be like a link to click on it that will open up the results tab. But obviously, if you ever miss it, you can just click here and open it. And what this does is this sends it to the cloud as well. So this is sent to the cloud to be run for analysis. So I'm going to click on the results, and this is what you get for results. Which one do I want? I want this one. There it is. So delete this. So this is what I did. You can kind of see, since I had the rest of the stuff there, it's kind of zoomed out really far. But you can see what's there. So this is the type of report that you get. You can see there's some useful information, there's some unuseful information. Electrical, kind of gives you what you're might be looking at electrical costs for the place. Basically, like, it breaks down the building size for you. Breaks down, obviously it gives you like the project's information, estimated fuel costs, energy uses, life cycle, renewable energy potential, which, this was one way to show it, but obviously with that new kind of solar analysis, you can kind of see it a little bit better through there. This one shows a wind turbine, how much energy you could potentially generate per year with a wind turbine. Carbon emissions, it breaks down, kind of shows some pie charts for energy. What's going to be the most energy used, this between electricity and fuel, what's going to be the most. monthly heat-in loads. Obviously, it's Miami, so you really wouldn't have to worry about that. Monthly cooling loads, a lot more of that in there. Fuel consumptions, by month. Obviously, you can see the breakdown here. Electricity consumption, peak demands, an annual wind rose. So basically, Revit itself can tell you the prevailing wind directions. So you might, I think in your assignment too, you had to look up some weather data, so you might have found wind, prevailing wind directions. This is for speed. This one is frequency. So if you look at frequency, you can see that the latest has the most hours, and that's kind of coming from maybe like east, southeast kind of direction. And then in the east, southeast direction is kind of like between 9 to 13 miles an hour. Or not, well, this is in knots, so obviously you'd have to switch knots over to miles per hour. So that's kind of how you can get a value for the wind analysis software that I showed you in an earlier tutorial. Actually, I may reorder them, so it may be a later tutorial now. But basically, the wind analysis tutorial that I've done, that's a part of this tutorial, see? You can change the wind speed in the program, and this is how you can find it, where you can see, the most wind direction is from the east-southeast. Then you got to rotate the building in the program to face that direction for the wind, and you'll see it when you watch that tutorial if you haven't already. And then, you can look at, okay, with that direction, what's the wind speed? And then, from knots, what's that in miles per hour? Then you have frequency for the month by month, so you can see what the prevailing wind is for summer months, June to August, and then what's the prevailing wind for winter months, so sometimes the direction shifts a little bit between those two different times of the year. So you can see here, just continuing down this a little bit more. This is more of weather stuff like humidity. This is dry bulb and wet bulb, I believe. Heat and dry bulb and cool and dry bulb. Here's wet and dry bulb temperatures. Humidity, as I said, and that's pretty much it for that analysis. So that's the type of analysis that they give you. This stuff, it's been in beta for like 2 years. I don't even know if they've done anything with it yet. This is kind of just everything that you can check to show. So some of these tables, and also you can see if I have more than one analysis. There's a way that you can compare. You'll see here compare. So if it's grayed out right now, but if I had like 3 analysis done, I could click on them to compare, and you can compare them side by side. So that's where you can, if I go back to actually Revit itself with the settings. That's when you can start to kind of test different types of construction kind of things and see, what may give you a better option, an option to do, for that. And then obviously, if some of this stuff you don't seem useful and you want to kind of condense the report, you can just kind of uncheck something. So if I uncheck humidity, let me see if it actually takes it off. Yep, so it takes it off there. I didn't know if you had to rerun the report before it would take it off, but it looks like it just takes it off automatically, and you don't have to rerun it, which is kind of nice. And then you can put it back in. So that's kind of the energy analysis through Revit. And with conceptual masses, it's very basic to kind of give you a quick idea of how your building is going to perform. And the next video and last video is going to be what this insight does. And that's actually going to be a little bit kind of a nicer, it's new, so it's kind of a more of a nicer kind of quick snapshot of your building and how it may perform. So that's it for this tutorial. There'll be one more, as I mentioned, there'll be one more left on tutorial soon. Or, depending, as I said, I'm probably going to reorder these from the way that I did them. But the tutorial on the generate insight will be the last tutorial in tutorial C, no matter what I do for the reorder.